But also, I just wanted to ask you about Joe Biden, of course, has had his worst week in the presidency in and around everything to do with Afghanistan. The polling is now starting to follow up as well. But I love the White House press reporters who were apologising when having to pass on bad news about terrible polls to the president. He sort of just smiles his way through it. They do realise Orange Man ain't in charge anymore.
It's a very different tone, and he's been writing for a long time on this idea that we're in a national emergency, the COVID pandemic's been overarching, and so we're all looking to him for leadership. But this was a strategic call that he's flagged for quite some time. At the time where he said it, there was a lot of advice, especially from military advisors, but strategic international policy ones too, that said this is a bad idea to announce a set date for withdrawal, to not have anything in place when you're doing it. It's going to be a catastrophe. And then the catastrophe hits, and it's this discussion around it being a surprise. It's really not a surprise at all. And it is a turnaround from his original stance. For decades, he changed his tune. Originally, he was saying that America should be involved in the idea of nation building. And it's one thing to change your mind based on how long it goes along, but it's another thing to say that it was never that opinion in the first place. So this is a time when scrutiny should be at its highest, and the public sentiment is turning. People are talking about it, even in the line back from the US, from Mexico in customs, when you're snaking around for an hour, people I heard were talking about Afghanistan. They're horrified about what's been happening. Yeah. And so this is well beyond anything that's just happening in the White House. This is an American problem.
Correct. It is outside of the bubble, which is where we always like to be. Thank you, Annelise. Keep up the great work.